man, how are you doing? You can't just start a conversation like that. Come on, at least try to talk to me. Maybe at least a little bit? At least hit me with a hello, something like that. Okay, fine, I'm leaving.
Goodbye!
Ladies, gentlemen, and tarnished of all ages, FromSoft, those cheeky little buggers, oh, they snuck one past us, didn't they? They gave us patch notes, but those patch notes did not include everything by any means. One of the more major things that they didn't include is a brand new entire renowned summon named Banished Knight Engvall.
Hi. How are you?
At the same time, within this patch, the Mimic tier summon has been nerfed for a lot of people who've been using it. It does less damage, and it has AI that is simply much less likely to use spells, or Ashes of War, or skills in general, or even use a flask when it gets to low health. Before this, the Mimic was pretty undisputed as the best summon for the average player in Elden Ring. With this change, however, it is leaving many people wondering, should they still be using the Mimic, or should they be using something else? And what should that something else be? Today I'm going to answer two questions. How does Banished Knight Engvall compare to the Mimic tier, as well as how does the Mimic tier compare to the other best summons in the game to find the new best summon in Elden Ring? Oh, and a quick third one, where to get Banished Knight Engvall in the first place. This is an especially fun one because for many of you, you already have him. Yeah, you heard me. It's like Apple slipping a U2 album onto your phone. You may just have a summon you never picked up already in your inventory. And the reason for that is that this summon was made the reward for a boss that already existed before the patch. And so anyone who defeated this boss before the patch has simply been given this summon straight up into their bag. If you don't have it and want to get it, head to the Murkwater Catacombs in Limgrave, a decent walk north through the river from Agheel Lake, and defeat the boss inside to receive it as the reward. That said, that places this summon as incredibly early game. Like, you could go and do this as the first thing that you do in the open world level early game, so of course it is important to keep that in mind as we go for comparison. Starting off against a Black Blade Kindred, I shoved a +7 Mimic tier and a +7 Banished Knight Engvall at it for a number of attempts each, doing my best to allow the fight to remain a 1v1 between the boss and the summon. The Mimic tier is using a Moon Veil, which is neither the best nor worst way to use the Mimic tier as an attempt to create an average player situation. On average, occasional strange AI decisions aside, the Mimic tier dies about twice as fast as the Banished Knight time-wise, however they do so after dealing about twice as much damage. This is true on the overall fight, but also quite noticeable just watching tiny interactions. Each individual hit of the Mimic tier does anywhere from double to triple the damage of one hit from the Banished Knight. However, if you watch their damage intake, it appears that the Mimic has less than half of the health of the Knight. Put simply, this summon is not more offensively powerful than the Mimic by any means, however it does fill a very specific role, the role of a tank, and quite a decent tank at that. If you just want a summon to soak damage, this is a great choice. Combine that with the fact that you can get it right at the beginning of the game, and this might just well be one of the top early game summons overall in Elden Ring. Moving on to the bigger question then, should we replace the Mimic tier? Well, simply put, if you use big meaty weapons that get most of their damage from just swinging them and nothing else, Mimic is still absolutely incredible. However, even then it has still been nerfed for those players a little bit, and so the damage that the +10 Mimic tier can do to a late game boss is definitely appreciable. But once you whip out Black Blade Tiche +10, you look over at the damage the Mimic tier did and think, oh, that's quaint. Like a tiny little tickle from a friend. Her damage blows the Mimic tier out of the frickin' water. Not only because this is a frozen lake. Like, literally, in order to keep testing on this boss, I had to de-summon her out of fear that she would fully finish killing the boss by herself before dying. Past this is also worth giving a very solid mention to our friend Cleanrot Knight Finlay, who fires out holy projectiles and applies Scarlet Rot to enemies, as well as buffing you when they are first spawned. Any enemy that can be afflicted by Scarlet Rot will be absolutely devastated by them, and those same enemies, as well as pretty much everything else, gets annihilated by Black Blade Tiche, my personal pick for the best current summon in Elden Ring. Not just because of the damage output though, but Tiche is incredibly evasive as well, resulting in a partner who will, pretty much, just solo a boss, as I've already shown you. The only negative about this summon is that it is the most expensive FP cost summon in the game, meaning you either need to have a lot of points in mind or be using the wondrous physic that stops mana consumption for a short time. If you want to acquire either Black Knife Tiche or Cleanrot Knight Finlay for yourself, follow the links in the description to our video guides on obtaining each of those summons. Blackblade Tiche will need you to have completed the majority of the Ranni questline in the game, and Cleanrot Knight Finlay will need you to have unlocked the Haligtree region of the game. And that just about covers it. I've been Cotton Dinosaur from RageGamingVideos, and this has been your guide to Banished Knight Engvall, how he compares to the other summons, and an updated comparison of the Mimic tier against Blackblade Tiche, the real hero that we all deserve. Are you going to change things up with your summons, or stick with what's been working for you? Like if you like the video, subscribe and hit the notification bell for more, and most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, stay sweet. Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.